Welcome to Cover Havoc number 2. I'm Echo Fangry Wolf. This is my rehashing of my video about Donald Trump. And yes, I am going to put the definitions in this video like I did in the video that I deleted. So, before we do that, let me apologize to everybody who supports Trump if you're here on my page. I have nothing personally against you, but you need to ask yourself, is Echo right? Is this man a bigot and a racist? Or is he just satire? Let me explain to you real quick. Satire might be fun for y'all, but satire also gets people hurt. So, let's do these definitions, shall we? First, let's do satire. Google, what is satire? Of course, it's not going to talk. I don't even know what the hell that says. Let's try that again. Satire. Still not giving me what I'm looking for. Okay. What is jokingly satire? Yeah, it's still not giving it to me. There we go. There's the word I'm looking for right there. Come on. Satire is a gesture or a visible, literally, or performing arts using the form of fiction, the less frequently non-fiction, which is a vice, follies, abuse, and shortcomings are held up to ridicule of others with the entire event. It would have been so much better if Google had did this. But anyway, I guess, like I said, Google and I are not friends. Not to be confused with Salatar. I have no idea what that is. But anyway, social criticism, using wit to draw attention to both otherwise wider issues of society. So, if he's been doing satire all this time, he's been doing a really bad get up at it. What is a racist?
Here's the definition of racist: prejudiced against or antagonistic toward a person or people on the basis of their membership in a particular racial or ethnic group, typically one that is a minority or marginalized.
Got that? What is a bigot?
Here's the definition of bigot: a person who is obstinately or unreasonably attached to a belief, opinion, or faction, especially one who is prejudiced against or antagonistic toward a person or people on the basis of their membership of a particular group.
What is prejudice?
Here's the definition of prejudice: preconceived opinion that is not based on reason or actual experience.
It left off people of a different background. What is racism?
Here's the definition of racism: prejudice, discrimination, or antagonism directed against a person or people on the basis of their membership in a particular racial or ethnic group, typically one that is a minority or marginalized.
What is ethnicity?
Ethnicities frequently mentioned on the web include Hispanic and Latino Americans, whites, Americans, and others.
What is race? Race, human category. Race is a categorization of humans based on shared physical or social qualities into groups generally viewed as a district within given society. The term was first used to refer to the speaker of common language, which is denoted national affiliations. Alright, what does race mean? Race is defined as a category of humankind that share what this thing I just said a second ago. The center of dysfunctional physical traits. The term ethnicity is more broad definition defines the groups of people classified in a common racial, national tribute, religious, linguistic, cultural origins, or background. What is the difference between race and ethnicity? Ethnicity is a similar concept to race, but while race has been distinguished on a basis of physical characteristics explaining skin color, ethnic dissertations, general focus, and natural culture characteristics as language, history, religion, and customs. Well, that didn't get me anywhere, did it? Okay. So we got that out of the way. Now shut up, because now I'm going to tell you about the video that I deleted about our former president, D.T. There's a J in there somewhere. So as you all know, his appointees to the Supreme Court lied and said that their religious beliefs and they would not shut down Roe v. Wade. And his 3 knights that he put in his game of chess into the Supreme Court did the opposite of what they said. They lied under oath, which is a crime, by the way. So I guess those Supreme Court justices actually can be sued and go to jail for lying under oath. Because see, here's that thing. If you lie under oath in court, you're in trouble. Alright? I think it's called perjury. So you're in deep shit. Alright? And he who squeals gets the deal. Now, let's talk some facts. Before I found out that Mr. Trump was a racist, I didn't really have too much of a problem with him. I had some issues with him before I found out. But these issues is what pushed me over the edge. Because in 1993, I was in high school. I was trying to graduate, and I was trying to become a UFC fighter. But at 120 pounds, they wouldn't give me a job. Irrelevant. But what is relevant is that in 1993, there was a casino issue where Native Americans didn't have to pay high taxes on their casinos. Or in fact, as he put it, they didn't have to pay taxes at all. And they didn't look like natives to him, which means they were probably natives who were white passing. Now, yes, there are natives who are white passing. Now, for the sake of argument, you can go find that video under Donald versus natives and casinos. That's just like a word spread thing that you can just go look it up. There's a video, it's like maybe 15 to 20 minutes long. You can take what you want from it, but at the end of the video, he does say they don't look like natives to me. And he's mad that the natives don't have to pay taxes, but his casino does. Alright? Let's not forget that we're all on stolen land here. And I'm part native. So, part of my ancestors are on stolen land. Okay? But most of my ancestors were probably slaves. Except for the white ones. I don't know if they were slaves. But as far as the tone of my skin being black, which means some of my black ancestors were more than likely slaves, i.e. the last name Williams. Okay? This is also why I go by Echo Fang Grey Wolf. Because I'm returning to my native roots on my connecting journey. Again, irrelevant. Point being made. That was the first racist incident that I know about Donald Trump. Maybe 3 years later. Let me find out. What year did the Central Park 5 happen?
1989.
1989.
According to Women's
So
Health,
it was before.
Ava DuVernay's Netflix series, When They See Us,
Okay.
is based on the true story of the Central Park.
So, the Central Park 5 thing came first. Alright? All this time I couldn't remember what happened first. And now Google just corrected me. So the Central Park 5 thing was probably the first time I really heard about Donald Trump outside of Hugh Hefner and all the other stuff. And to me, they kind of all looked the same, so it didn't really matter. But I knew Hugh Hefner had money. I'm pretty sure he probably had more money than Trump. But, you know, the only thing I knew about Trump in 89 and in 93 before that racist shit was that he went bankrupt. Which was like some shit that I couldn't figure out because, you know, you have millions of dollars. How the fuck can you go bankrupt? But apparently, he didn't go bankrupt. He just filed bankruptcy. More than once. In fact, one time he filed bankruptcy and Vince McMahon bailed him out. So, don't ask. It's not relevant. Now, 89. I don't even remember how old I was at 89. So like maybe 15, 14, somewhere in there. We're going to find out, though. Okay, so I was like 16. Alright. Which means I was between 18 and 19 when 93 came. Anyway, 89. Although it took them like 30 some odd years later to prove that these guys was innocent, he never apologized. But what he said back then was, they need to reinstate the death penalty and kill these 5 black kids. Alright? You don't hear nothing else about Trump. Quite some time. Till he starts running for the president. There's also a couple of times he's been on the WWE. He's actually a WWE Hall of Famer. I don't know why the WWE even let that happen, but it is what it is. He should have revoked that, but I'm sure they didn't because, you know, people are in your pocket or you're in their pocket, so there's always a exchange of something. And so, that being said, the next thing you hear about him while he's in the presidency is about Colin Kaepernick. And I probably didn't say his name right. Didn't touch on that in the original video, but I'm going to touch on it now. The point when he said that somebody should fire that SOB, he did it in. But let's go back before the Colin Kaepernick. Let's go back before the presidency. And you'll probably have to fight really hard to find this video, but there was a video where he talked to an indigenous person because Standing Rock was becoming a big blowed up deal, thanks to the young lady from Divergent. But he had told the natives that if he became the president, that he wasn't going to touch Standing Rock because he had no business ties with the tar sands or whatever the hell the pipe was going through was going to be. I'm sorry, I swore. And that if he won the president, that he would do more for natives. So he did like one thing. He founded a native task force to save his shell. But yet, they forgot way back in the 90s that he didn't like natives. And he still doesn't like natives. So, he does that. But then, Barack Obama puts in the decree that Standing Rock is protected as his last exiting act as president. And on day one, Donald Trump's first act as president is to get rid of that decree. The pipeline's going through because he has business dealing with them, though he lied right to the face of natives. And yet y'all say he wasn't racist. That's 2 native attacks. That's 2 black attacks. Because let's not forget, Colin Kaepernick is mixed. Alright, let's not forget that shit. Sorry, I swore. Now, let's fast forward. He's in the White House. And he's being racist to the woman that I initially was going to vote for. Elizabeth Warren. Who's like 4% native. So I might have more native than her. I don't know. But she's part native. Which gives her standing with me. Because I was going to vote for her whether she was part native or not. Because I like Elizabeth Warren. But every week on the news, he was on a witch hunt for Elizabeth Warren. And he called her Pocahontas all the damn time. And let's not forget when the Navajo code talkers were there. And he said, you guys are very important to us. We have someone who's been in the White House longer than anybody on earth. We call her Pocahontas. Now, respectfully to the native that broke, because he broke, he literally, he was trying not to laugh, but he cracked a smile, so all is forgiven. But at that same time, none of Donald Trump's people caught him and said, hey man, you realize you are talking to natives, right? Pocahontas was a victim of MMIW. The first victim of MMIW. And no one sought to maybe tell him not to say shit about Pocahontas to the Navajo. Now granted, Pocahontas was Powhatan, alright? Not Navajo's business. But see, all the West Coast tribes of natives learned real freaking quick from the Trail of Tears what happened to every East Coast native from the tip of Maine all the way down to the tip of Florida. So Powhatan, Comanche, Powhatan, Seminole, Cherokee, Iroquois, Kiowa, all of us were moved from our homes on the east. The Trail of Tears moved a butt nugget from all the way at the top of Maine through Vancouver and whatever the other, Connecticut, and then Philadelphia and New York. Every native that was there was moved, including Ojibwe and damn it, what are they? It's like 4 letters. It doesn't matter. It does matter, but it doesn't matter because it's irrelevant. But all of them were moved. The Trail of Tears. See, this is what made my Cherokee thing kind of hard to get, because all the Cherokee they're more Cherokee in Oklahoma than anywhere else. I'm from Virginia. My great-grandmother was from Virginia, but she was still Cherokee. So I'm like, okay. So I'm trying to figure out, are you Cherokee? Are you Iroquois? Are you Rappahannock? Are you Tappahannock? Are you Monacan? There's a lot of native tribes here in Virginia, but none of them are Cherokee. So you see the dilemma that I have. And so then on top of that, this man becomes the president. He doesn't stop talking about Pocahontas. But y'all don't think he's racist. Then COVID strikes. And all of a sudden, to all of the natives, Asians, and Mexicans who were supporting Trump, I got no skin in the game for you. I have no F's to give you other than you should be ashamed of yourself. Now, the reason why I say that is because this man lied about Standing Rock. This man didn't like natives in 1993. And y'all thought age would have seasoned him out so that he would like natives, and he didn't. Now let's talk about Chinese, because you can catch him on video. You guys can go fact check this stuff. That he literally told a Chinese reporter to go ask China. But I guess y'all don't think that's racist. Oh, I know why. It's because you're not Chinese. The increase of Asian hate picked up when this man started saying the Chinese flu, the Wuhan flu, the Kung flu disaster, the what the hell was the other one? The Wuhan disaster. Anything that had something to do with China, he was using it, and it fueled a lot of fire. It brought out a lot of racism from the East Coast to the West Coast. The train station in New York where the guy chased the girl and tried to drop kick her, but she outsmarted his ass because she was Asian, and she wasn't even Chinese. But this black bastard was trying to, I called him a black bastard. This guy was trying to hurt her because she was Asian. She did nothing to him. Just sitting on the bus. Excuse me, the train. All of a sudden, back in San Francisco, this black dude and a cluster of black people are stopping a Chinese man from collecting cans to support his family. And he's an old dude, and they're recording it, and he's crying. He's literally crying. He made me think of my grandfather. They're recording this shit. Shame on all those black people that were doing that. They're recording it. Then back over on the East Coast, you have more Asians getting attacked. People chasing them with Lysol and all kinds of shit. And my blood is boiling. Boiling. And then you turn around on the other end of that spectrum, you have Asian people going, Trump 2020, Trump 2024. And I'm sitting here like, you realize that you are Asian, right? Because there are a lot of racist people out here that can't tell the freaking difference. You might not be Chinese. You might be Korean. You might be Japanese. To a racist person, you're all Chinese. Because they don't know how big Asia actually is. But they know about Chinese people. Everybody looks Chinese. Like the black dude that broke into the Korean place with a brick and brutally assaulted the 2 Korean women with a brick. Now I'm not going to say racism isn't above Asians. There have been videos of Asians, like the black rapper who was just doing his video, and there was an Asian dude who called them all kinds of N-words while he was filming. And shame on that Asian guy for calling him the N-word. Shame on him. That only proved that no one is above racism. But this isn't a racist video. This is about Donald J. Trump and the racism that he helped ignite even more. Then you go back to the West Coast. More Asians are being attacked. You go back to the East Coast where Olivia Munn's mother, damn near died. And you go back to the West Coast where an old lady beat up a dude who tried to attack her because she was Asian and her husband. And then you kind of find out that he was attacked by black people. Then you go to the West Coast some more, and you see these 13-year-olds driving a Toyota Camry or a Corolla jump out and mug an Asian man and take him for his money, then beat him up and then jump in the car and drive off. Then you go back to the West Coast again, and you see some man sees an Asian guy by a garage door, shoves him into the door, kills him. None of that crap was happening before the last president was saying the Wuhan flu, the Kung flu, the Chinese virus. None of that shit was happening. Let's go back to the East Coast where a Filipino dude was cut from this cheek to this cheek because they thought he was Chinese. Let's go back to the East Coast where some 4 girls beat up an Asian woman who was 54. It took 4 of them to do it. They were black girls, so shame on them. Let's go back to the East Coast where in a train station, somebody threw coffee on a Chinaman because he was Chinese. Let's go back to the East Coast where someone in another train station in DC tried to unalive an Asian trying to push them onto the track. Let's go to the one where they did push a Chinese woman onto the track. And I think that was either in New York or it was either in Maryland. I'm not sure. But it happened. So y'all can go fact check all those videos and then tell me that y'all don't believe that y'all former president was a racist. Now let's bring it on back around to the true relevance of January 6th. We're not going to talk about his people that he put in place at court. We are going to talk about how he even had his people so wired up because Mike Pence wouldn't do his job for them because he did his actual job. And they decided that they're going to hang Mike Pence. And I'm sure Mike Pence hasn't forgotten that crap. I'm sure he's not sitting there watching the trials and saying, oh, this was a Thor gone completely wrong. No, that shit was an assassination plot. And yes, I'm sorry, I swore. But that's what it was. It was an assassination plot because you had people running. You can check the videos. Hang Mike Pence. I'm pretty sure that that's a threat. I'm pretty sure when someone's telling you they're going to hang somebody, that is an actual threat. But again, all of the Donald Trump supporters are going to say, that wasn't a racist, and he had nothing to do with it. Did you watch? Did you watch the press coverage? Did you watch all of it while it was unfolding live? While people who were there filming the shit, who weren't involved, they were doing their jobs because they were news people? Did you understand that a vet died trying to fight in the name of Trump so that his election wouldn't get stolen? Did you understand that a couple of cops were killed by a mob of people who went in there initially trying to hang Mike Pence for not stopping the steal? Let's make sure you're all up to speed now. Let's rewind that shit. Let's get you up to speed. People died. A vet died for the name of Trump. 2 cops were murdered for the name of Trump. They threatened to hang Mike Pence for not stopping the steal for the name of Trump. You recall him telling the Chinese reporter to go ask China. You recall Billy Bush losing his job for doing his job with, I'm rich so I can grab rich women and I can grab women by the vagina and if you're rich they'll let you do it. You recall that, because I know Billy Bush recalls it, because Billy Bush still doesn't have a job in the entertainment business, which really sucks, because I like Billy Bush. Now, let's go further back. Somebody should fire that SOB talking about Colin Kaepernick. Let's go further back. They don't look like Indians to me. Let's go further back to 1989, the Central Park 5. Even though they were proven guilty, if you go watch the documentary, they asked the president if he would apologize, and he said no. So even though you're proven guilty, then you're guilty. But if you're proven innocent, even the president, who should apologize for you being like 15 and 16 years old, wanting you to die because you're black and you never raped the white lady, but they said you raped the white lady, but DNA proved that you didn't rape the white lady, and he can't swallow his pride and say, I'm sorry. This is why I apologize at the beginning of this video. This is also why I will apologize at the end. Because I know I just hurt a lot of people's feelings, but everything I said, you can go find a video on it. You can find a video on him talking about Colin Kaepernick. You can find a video on him talking about the Central Park 5. You can find a video on him saying they don't look like Indians to me back in 1993 when, that shit happened. You can find the video of Why Don't You Go Ask China. You can find the video of him telling the Navajo code talkers, she's been here long, we call her Pocahontas. In fact, you can probably find every video about him calling Elizabeth Warren Pocahontas. Every one. But are you willing to be open-minded enough to do that? Now let me flip this script real quick, because I know the first thing somebody's going to say, but did you find a video about the black lady living in Trump Towers rent-free? It's a plant. Alright? Understand. Where's she at right now? Where's she at? Now let me make sure that y'all understand this, because I want to make sure that everybody's clear with what I'm about to say. Understand, listen, don't just hear me. Listen. I am not here to turn you against Donald Trump. That is not my job. Just pointing out some facts on why I personally do not like this man. 2. As an actor, understand something. Understand real quick. It is my job to sell you something. It is my job to make you understand something. It is my job to feed you a loaded story, make you feel things, make you have sympathy for things, make you believe that it's real, and make you want to come watch me perform in a movie. Watch this. Let's take a moment from the original Thor. Half a film later, sacrificing myself for Jane Foster. Let he who shall hold this hammer, if thy be worthy, possess the power of the almighty Thor. And then he picks up the hammer and he goes after the Slayer and goes and destroys the Slayer. But at the beginning, he was tearing things up and he was all juvenilistic. And then his father, Odin, took the hammer from him and said, "You have not been worthy of this hammer. Until you learn worthiness, you shall no longer be able to hold this hammer." And he whispered it. Incantation came on the thing. And then he hummed that shit into space. And Thor goes, "No!" And the hammer is gone. And then he strips Thor of his powers and sends Thor to Earth. And then Thor wakes up. And Jane Foster takes him in. And he hangs out with that guy who Jane Foster is working with. For the bulk of the movie, he's drinking a lot, doing nothing that he was supposed to do. He finds out where his hammer is. He tries to go get the hammer, which I just reenacted horribly, but you get the point. It is my job to convince you to come see this movie. I'll give you another line from Avengers: Age of Ultron. Are you ready? Here we go. I can do it. Nobody will know. Nobody. Last time I saw him, Ultron was standing on him. I probably should have had my bow and arrow, so that you would know I was Hawkeye. Point being made, as an actor, it is my job to make you want to go buy these Little Debbie birthday cakes because they're so awesome. And you'll love eating them. This box is empty because I just finished it off earlier today. As an actor, my job is to make you want to go buy this frosted glacier thirst quencher of Gatorade. And you guys should do that, because Gatorade is thirsty for that deep down body thirst. As an actor, it is my job to make you and your kids want to go out and get this guy. You know, I got to be the very best, like no one ever was. To catch them is my real test. To train them is my cause. Pokemon, I will travel across the land. Y'all know the drill. So, that being my job as an actor goes back to the black lady living in Trump Towers for free. Because I know y'all seen that on the internet too. Because I know that's going to be something that someone's going to bring up. My question to you, since you're going to bring that up, is, why don't you ask Omarosa? Because you know, she got fired, not from the TV show, but from the White House. She recalls him using the N-word. She recalls being threatened by certain people in the White House, other than Trump. But I'm pretty sure y'all probably watched that under the hood too. And then everybody that worked for Trump all of a sudden have book deals. Book deals. Now I gotta pay for my book deal. But they got book deals. You see where we're going here? But as an actor, it's my job to convince you to go and get this Samsung phone. It can call anybody, anywhere, anytime. And it doesn't lose calls. Malarkey. But that's my job as an actor. So, as this is going to come to an end really soon because it's been 30 minutes, your job is not to dislike Trump because of the crap that I said. It's not satire. It's real from my point of view because I'm part native and I am part black. And there's not enough white in me to be affected by anything that he says because he only said that he doesn't like smart people. He likes stupid people because they're easy to manipulate. And y'all can go find that too. But the question is, are you going to be open-minded enough to not only find it, watch it 2 or 3 times, absorb it, or are you going to be so stuck with your head up your rectum that you can see, smell, and lick your colon before you believe what you hear or what you see fly out of this man's mouth? He is a racist. He is also a bigot. He is also prejudiced, which is why I gave you all those definitions at the beginning of this video. And I almost got through this video without swearing. But I did swear. I at least swear 4 times. I know I did. Maybe more. Point being made, though. I own my mistakes, which is why I deleted the original 2 videos, because there was a lot of swearing in there. But are you going to be open-minded enough to look for what I asked you to? Are you going to be open-minded enough to accept what you see when you see it? Or are you going to be that guy that no matter what I said, no matter what I prove, you're still going to follow this racist guy into the bowels of hell? Because those people in January 6th, they did that. They followed him into the bowels of hell. And though if he gets charged at all, which I'm sure he won't, they're praying that he gets in office so he can exonerate them and wipe that out. What y'all fail to understand is, if he gets back in, it's only going to be worse for everybody. And those poor people that went to jail for him for the however lengthy of time that they've been in there so far waiting for the next election to happen, may God have mercy on their souls. May God give them a little bit more mercy than they gave the 2 cops that were killed. May God give them a little bit more mercy than the military lady who died in his name. And may God give all of us the sense of protection that we need now that they've overturned Roe v. Wade. That being said, I'm Echo Fangray Wolf. Love me or leave me alone, it's all good to me. This door is always open for people to come in and come out of this channel of Kung Fu Advocate number 2. I hold no ill will towards Trump supporters. I hold ill will towards Trump because of the things that have flown out his mouth that everybody on earth apparently is willing to let slide and not say, hey man, that's racist. You can't be saying stuff like that. You cannot be calling Elizabeth Warren Pocahontas. You cannot tell Chinese reporters because they're Chinese to go ex-China when the woman was raised in America. That Chinese reporter specifically, the one who said, why did you specifically say that to me? She's from fucking Virginia. And I just cussed, I'm sorry. But she's from Virginia, my state. She's not from Charlottesville, but she is from Virginia. And you think I don't have the right to be mad about how the Chinese flu, the Kung flu, the Wuhan disease has put friends that I care of who are Chinese in danger from some racist asshat that wants to go around and hurt people just because of something that we can't change, our race. See, you can change your gender all damn day if you got the money for it. If you got the money for the hormones and the treatment and all the other good, glorious stuff, you can't change your race. You can peel your skin tone off all you want, but I'm going to give you a piece of advice. This is what you're going to look like under the skin. You know, that's down to the white meat. So you still look the same, you're just going to be like Hellraiser. So yeah, if I wanted to be a transgender woman at 49, yeah, I could do that if I had the money. But I don't want to do that. I kind of like women, but I don't want to be them. Let's see. Except for that time I wanted to be a lesbian because this girl I wanted to date was a lesbian. But other than that, yeah. Other than that, you can't change your race. You can change it on paper. I'm mixed. But my birth certificate says that I am a Negro. Because back in the 70s, they didn't know what do with mixed babies. She just automatically named him Negro. My mom is mixed. She's white passing, but she lets everybody know she's black. Her father before her was white passing, but all of my siblings, all of my aunts on my mom's side, we have different shades of brown. My true color is high yellow. On my dad's side, it's the same way. Most of us look more native on my dad's side, but all of his generation, all of them look black. They have native, like from here to here, they have native features, but their skin tone is dark as hell. But you can tell we're mixed. But most Americans that are black are either part black and part white, or part black, white, part native, and part white. Chipped off my tongue on that one. But doesn't change the fact that that's what we are. There are no pure-blooded black Americans. Period. We're all mixed with something. Some of us just show more. That being said, I'm not here to support Trump. And I do not hate Trump supporters. But I do want you to be open-minded and go research the things I said. That being said, I'm Echo Fangry Wolf. Be seeing you.